This is 100 kilometers. This is this. This is matter state. This is plasma at this state. And then here you go by the order of magnitude of this on top of that. So every time you turn and open a layer of the total roll from here to there, coming back to the same, your order of magnitude increases by millions of times more. There you go, CERN. So now you understand. Now you understand in how it works. When I originally took one of these wires to diamond bourse in Antwerp, I explained to them this is a diamond structure. What it means, it does not attach to nothing. You cannot weld it together. You can fold it together. One of my friends, he pinched one. He wouldn't, I was very careful that I go in with the number, I come back with the number, but he was so good that he just put one away in his pocket. And he called me a few days later. He says, have you ever looked at this thing you brought us? I said, what's wrong with it? He said, it's full of holes. I said, what do you mean? He said, we looked at it. We took it into the diamond bourse lab and we looked at it. It's full of holes. What's this you made? I said, you explain to me. He said, but it looks like diamond. It behaves like diamond, because I let them to do a test, a very nice test with it. And that was, I allowed them to bring all the electronic system they had, but they could not weigh it. And what they did, they put it on a microscope and all the things they have to see how there's this new diamond behavior. What they saw was the diamond people. They saw the first nanomaterial, but they could not understand it. When they looked at the surface of it, what they saw was this. What they saw on the wire was this. If you look at it, what they saw was this. Nothing, something, nothing, something. Where the gap is, there was nothing. They called it hole, was where the two plasmas took their position in respect to each other, gravitational magnetic field. But because they were made of the same material, they absorbed all the radiation. All the diamond bourse equipment showed it as diamond, because it will not reflect. It will be a best resistor they could measure. But what they actually saw for the first time in the diamond bourse in 2006, 2007 was first the structure of nanomaterial. So when you have this, you have homogeneity. It's totally homogeneous. Everything is gapped, positioned perfectly in respect to each other. What is this? What can you do? If you can create such a nanomaterial that the gaps are perfect because of the magnets, which we showed yesterday, the way they position themselves, then you will understand something very interesting. Let's open up this. If I position one of these here, and one of these here, and one here, and one here, knowing that I use copper, for example, to create this gap, and I know the size of, let's say, a poison, which is, let's say, I'm going to go smaller, and I'm going to go finer, red. Now, this was a gap between, does this thing, is it metal or is it plastic? No, we cannot stick it. So these are the plasmas. They create a spacing, what they saw as a gap. If you can use a special material, this is a gap, let's say, for copper. If I use, let's say, plutonium, the gap will be this big. I'll put it here. You see the difference between the gap? Now, if I put a gap of a plasma of a poison, which is this size, we'll go through this, but here it will not go through. You can make new filters for any kind of poisoning. You can use nanomaterials, if you understand it, for filtering blood without dialysis machine. The opportunities opened with this development, the way the simplicity of producing it is so huge, it will take man thousands of years to unravel the secret of what I've opened up. If you understand this, and if you understand this, and if these are the galaxies in the universe, now you can see how you can make yourself travel through time in zero time. You slide amongst the gravitational magnetic field created by the galaxies in positioning themselves. There is no difference in this. Now you understand. It's you who's got to understand the totality, then you understand there is no magic. That's why everybody said it doesn't work, because they never understood the magic in the slave of a scientist who understands the totality of the creation in the universe. And you are too busy with the pitfalls of a few vibration of electrons. So now you understand what is to come. It's in your hand to change the course of humanity with what you understand. In the coming time, when more and more units are released, more and more technology is released, then you find out how much money has been wasted even developing part of the rocket propulsion technology at the moment. NASA is trying to use plasma, but in a matter plasma state of understanding, and they will not achieve anything. If they understand the work of the plasma through guns, then they find out they'll be on the moon before end of the year. It's only a month and a half left, or 2 months left. There's some Keshe Foundation guys who are trying to do it before NASA, but that's something else. We teach them, but then explore them. They have to explore the opportunities. In plasma, you can find everything the man needs if you know how to treat it. If you know how to push, where to push, and how to collaborate without pushing, then the plasma lets you have all the beauty of the creation. It's for you to start understanding, not for us to explain it to spoon feed you. Any questions?
There have been questions here. We've been trying to answer some of them in the chat and so on.
Oh, you see, the masters are in the background. They're answering the question. Fantastic. Can I have a holiday, please?
Not quite. There's one question that turns up quite a bit that people are wondering about the thickness of the or diameter of the wires to make the
You
coils.
choose. You choose. The thicker wire, the more plasma transfer. That's all the difference. Thinner wires, we use thinner wires for different things. Is Renan on the line, please? Renan? Hello? Or is he working?
I'm here, sir. Yes, sir.
Hi. Renan, can you explain to us the way you do with your pens with different diameter wires in
Oh, okay.
Philippines?
Usually, what I did with the pens right now is it's different. We use only the same gauge of wire, but with different forms. So the thicker wires, usually we have not started making plenty of the thicker wires. We just use the thicker wires to create spiral coils for patches. And for the pens, we are using the thinner gauge, the telephone wire, and we make different shapes of the coils. We use the egg-shaped coil, continuous. We also make a vortex coil, and we combined double core coils under a single under a vortex coil. So I teach this in the classes last week. So we just make variations on the shapes of the coils. So to
Can you
get
go on camera? Can you show us?
oh, I wait for a while, sir. I'll get first because I'm not at home. I'm in the factory right now.
Ah,
I'll check. I have my gadgets here. Okay, I got one.
are you
Here, sir.
sharing with us the screen?
Yes, it's on my video. Can you pin the video?
We got to share. Just 1 second.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, sir. So this is one of the pens that I made. The coil is the egg-shaped coils. It's a double core egg-shaped coils. So this pen is another. Its configuration is for deeper penetration on the organs. So with about 3 layers of this or three coils in series like this shape, it penetrates deep, very deep. So we tried, it can penetrate to the liver, to the deeper. It depends which part of the stomach or which part of the system. And I have also the other coils, this one. So let me see, sir. I open it. Okay. There's the Gans factory at the back, harvesting.
It's a gas factory. It's for your
For the
power production.
Yeah, this for the power unit, the Gans for the power unit. So here it is, also this one. So this one is the
Yeah, we
other
can.
coil. Can you see?
If you move your hand, you see better.
Okay,
Yeah.
like that.
No, move. Yeah.
So this one, sir, is this is a vortex coil. So I use this to operate a child who is already in severe pneumonia.
Yeah.
This one. Yeah, so we recover her very quick. In just 3 minutes, we normalize her oxygen.
Is this the one you used on the young girl in the hospital last week?
Yes, this one, sir. This is the one. So this is together with this one. Together with this one. So this one is this one I inserted this normal coil that we have in the pen, the double coil point, that double pointed, and I just insert it here inside in the middle. So it goes halfway.
Thank you.
So that's one of the configurations of the pens that I'm making for operations, for emergency, and to have quicker and faster effects for the ordinary pens. For the ordinary pens, it's just for common use. And this one is for, we're trying this. We have already have an affiliated social service hospital. So we have scheduled at least once or twice a week to visit there and do controlled experimentation with their patients. So we'll be testing in parallel. So there is with the same diagnosis, and we will test the devices like this and other devices using the acupoints to the one patient, and the other one is using the traditional pharmaceutical drugs. And we will see, and we will compare it for maybe a 2-week study, 3-week study. So we'll compile the information. So the hospital will be helping us to do it. So they will be gathering the information for us, and we will get the reports at the end of the month. So this is what I'm using for now for the new pens that are used for hospitals and clinics. And the ordinary pens, this is the ordinary pens configuration alone, which is inside the pens that I'm manufacturing here. This is the design, specific design. It's a single double pointed coil, so it's just a folded pen, a folded wire, and coiled counterclockwise. So the both ends are on this one. This is the one pointing outside towards the pen's point.
That's very nice. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
How come you got such a big guns factory behind you?
This is for the manufacturing of the power unit, sir. So we're harvesting more guns.
Sorry.
So we can produce more. This is our backlog here. So we have less guns. You have advantage there. So that's why our other units are stuck in the production because of guns.
Wow.
So we're now mass producing the copper guns. So that's why we're here. The manufacturer is here also with us. This is the small laboratory. Not so small, very big. Under construction. But soon we will have a full educational facility here that we can also do some teachings here and share it to all knowledge seekers. We will have a setup as well.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Is there any more you can teach us?
Right now, sir, the power units, the coils, sir. Do you want to see the coils here?
Yep.
Yeah. So this one are the mass-produced. One of the mass-produced coils. These are mummified coils.
Why do you mummify them?
This is so that to hold the guns.
Okay.
Yeah, just to absorb. These are just cotton cloth. So when we immerse this to the guns water with the guns steered, so we put this immerse and let it then air dry. So the guns will stick on the cotton cloth to maximize, instead of using any adhesive. So we just use at least organic materials, so cotton, instead of using another plastic. So this is one thing what we're using right now for the.
You dry it, you mummify it.
Yes, after nano coating and everything, we mummify the coils and we dip this into the guns.
You do it after you put on it.
Yes, after the nano coating and everything. So this is only to stick the guns. So more guns will stick on the material.
Okay.
We
don't do that. We just dry it.
Yeah, this is one idea that we found out that it's helpful we use before is bond paper. So the bond paper, only the ordinary paper, it cracks. So our manufacturer here found out that you can use cotton tapes. So it's good for, and so this will be the one to be put under the guns water.
Remind me when after today we got to speak. I tell you
Yes.
something about this. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Thanks very much. Thank you
Thank you,
indeed.
sir. Okay.
Thank you indeed.
Está bien, sir.
Do you want to show us your coil, the one you made without without the factory?
Yeah, it's here, sir. We have here also the ordinary coil that I make. I have a copy here. No ordinary na coil na wala ibaw.
I really like your GANs kits in the background there, Renan.
Yeah, I can see them. He's made a real. But don't forget the keyed up to produce for the whole of Philippines and Far East. It's just
Yeah, this is just a little setup there. This is only 3 racks, so we will be building more racks there. Okay. We have also this one is the tower, sir.
Uh-huh. Ah, you made the power this way.
Yeah, this is the 12 stacker
Why do you need 12 stacker?
for industrial.
You gone that. It's okay. Now I understand what you're doing there. Yeah.
Because it's industrial here. So this one, sir, this one is the ordinary, the same coil that is in the house that I have set up. So these are the non-mummified coils.
None. Okay.
So this is our already fire nano coated. So fire nano coated coils that already double layer inside. And so what we're planning next is hopefully we will be doing we're setting up our steamer. So for the next is we're gonna do double nano coating, nano coat with fire and eventually with steam as well, so that the nano coat won't peel off, because some of the nano coat with fire, if it's not properly done, it peels off easily. So, but when it's
Yes,
already
because it interacts with the water, the moisture in the air, and it just splits
yes,
off.
that's why. So the one I have in my house is the same as this set up. Yeah. So we'll be also, sir, we're also making some CO2 kits here. We're gonna nano coat some more plates because we'll be soon starting educational workshops here, and we'll be making plates for them. So the people who will be interested to continue the workshop, will be teaching them. We'll be selling them some kits so that they can assemble their setup there.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thanks, Renan.
Okay, sir.
Thank
you, sir.
Thank you indeed, Renan. So, what you see is the way the knowledge is already shared along and across this planet. We share the same knowledge. We are hoping to hear from the Chinese if and when the President of China receives his, what do you call it, the prototypes. You want to tell us what happened in Armenia? You were the ambassador. You're the only ambassador who's come back. The rest have been killed, I think. They let you go. Would you like to explain to us what you did? Come on. You met Arman. He took 2 units, one to Armenia for the president of Armenia, and he took 1 unit to the president of Georgia. He traveled by land from one country to another. He presented them to the member of parliaments, and in both countries, he can explain to you what is done and how this technology, the 2 first, what do you call it, the Maghreb units, were received by their nations. And then we'll see. I'm going to sit down. I need a break. Between the green line, you're visible. Outside, you're a mystery. No, no, you gotta be visible. Otherwise, they think it's just a voice.
Hello, everybody. Uh, Actually, both trips were very successful. Both countries received the units. In Armenia, there were more than 20 people were present in the meeting, which one minister and actually all the scientific group were sitting and listening to the presentation. My problem was to translate everything to Armenian because it's hard for a moment. But
Armin, it's really hard to hear you. Can you keep that right to your chin, please?
okay.
Okay. Right, wait. I give you this. You can just be easy. That's in your pocket. And I'll take this here. Should be close.
First of all, I want to say thank you to the group that made this happen in such a short notice. You know, they organized it very perfectly that two governments received the units in their hands. And in a meeting in Armenia, what amazes me that when I put the nanomaterial on a table, the people couldn't understand how could it be superconductor and super resistor. And I just left it. I made some GANs, CO2 GANs, and left it and explained how from the nanomaterials we can, you know, make GANs. And actually this was new things for them. And they were surprised and they were asking formulas. And I said, there is no formulas, you know, it's a kind of new way of understanding the science. But after a few hours, actually, when they put the unit and start to test, you know, they couldn't understand why 2 meters were connected together. So I said, if it's going to be more feasible for you, you can put the 1 meter when the electricity actually coming from the grid, and 1 meter when you supply your household. So then you can measure it, how much energy it comes in, how much energy you use. And in time, it will, consumption of energy, it will drop down tremendously. I think, you know, we made a very good impression. So right now they are testing in the institute with a group of scientists in Armenia, which I had a phone call today. And later on we will have a actually conference call with them to give more instructions how to do and what to do. In Georgia, it was the same. There were 3 people, 2 deputy of ministers were present in that meeting, and they were surprised actually. It's something new, they never heard about it. So, and they are doing the test too, because the head of the Armenia, president of Armenia gave them instructions actually to do the testing ASAP. I'm very happy that we delivered it. So 2 governments, they have it in hand, the unit.
What we see is the first report back from, thank you very much, Armin. How the technology is spreading by the knowledge seekers, by people who care about the human race. Where we go? There are those who try to use the Keshe Foundation for the confirmation of existence like parasite by attacking, because that's the way they want to be noticed. But the people who serve humanity will take this knowledge and they'll make a beautiful thing out of it, because what we call GANs is what your body is made of.